This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our friends at 97.3 The Machine, San Diego Talking Rocks. Also 105.7 The X Rocking Peoria, Illinois, and Rock 103 in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That would be our friends there at Fort Bragg. Big show for you today. Ryan Castle, Drunk in Charge, coming in to sit and spin. We'll go back 30 years for the top 10 songs in the USA, and Ask the Men's Room is also on tap. We're talking about puking today, and if you did not hear, story goes back a few months, but the norovirus hit the Winter Olympics. Almost 200 people got sick there. And when you think about things that you want to do in your life, travel, see different things, this is a bucket list thing. I don't think anyone accidentally shows up at the Olympics.
In South Korea. Right,
not from the States. You're doing the touristy thing. The winter vomit bug hit. And dozens of security guards at Olympic sites started to experience norovirus symptoms. That includes nausea, diarrhea, stomach pain, vomiting. There is nothing, and this is also, you've got tickets. This is like going on vacation and getting sick. Where, it's just like, man, there's no worse time.
But it's an interactive vacation. I mean, you're not there to relax. You're there to do specific things, see specific things. And aside from the fact that you can't stop pooping yourself, you're also puking on top of it.
And it's more contagious than they say the seasonal flu or Ebola or any of that stuff. So they say one person with norovirus infected can sicken up to 3 to 4 other people. See, I didn't realize that.
I did not know it was
I just kind of thought it was like you ate something, man, and you're going to get sick.
Look,
not if I brushed into somebody in the hallway and now I'm throwing up.
My first exposure to norovirus, well, not that I've had norovirus. The first time I heard about norovirus from the cruise ship industry.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was a period, I want to say like 5 years ago, where like basically if you took a cruise, you were going to get diarrhea and puke all over the place. Just as a guarantee,
you take a cruise, but how could, man, you could go
and you're stuck on it. You can't get away from anybody.
You could go into frickin' Fremont in Vegas and eat at a buffet and not get sick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you could eat at a food truck, man, and like, I don't know, in the middle of goddamn.
On the side of a highway.
Yeah, in the Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? You don't even know what the meat is, and you won't even get sick. But
you go on a cruise ship.
You're eating like, that would be awful. Chicken cordon bleu. Blue's the back part.
Right. That's the thing. You can't get away from anybody. Like, and everyone's just. There was one ship, I want to say, like, their electric went down for a while, and norovirus hit. So people are, like, pooping in the stairwells. Like, the situation got really, really out of hand. But they still had to wait 3 days before they could go to a port of call, and all the ports of call were like, hey, man, no offense, we really don't want your ship here. Because you guys are that sick.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
I can see where the port of call is coming from.
I get it, but then what do you tell the passengers? Like, hey, listen, we tried Miami, they turned us down. Tried New Orleans, they turned us down, man. We got to stop pooping. Like, they're not taking us because we're disgusting, and the power's been out. We got to figure this out. That was a bad trip. A couple of comments that came in. It says, I once threw up underwater while getting my scuba certification. Basically thought I was going to die, choking on my vomit underwater. Bonus, it attracted a lot of fish, and I didn't die.
I bet it did.
During a flight into Baghdad, the C-130's missile target alarm went off, and the pilot began evasive maneuvers. A young soldier sitting next to me threw up in his helmet. Then in his delirium, he put it on. That's when I puked into his lap. That's from Ranger Rob.
Oh, man.
This person says, the sickest I ever got was when I mixed Mad Dog 2020 with half and half vodka. I got alcohol poisoning, and I puked everywhere, including 3 people. By the way, it's not that you mix Mad Dog with half and half vodka. It's that you mix Mad Dog with you.
Anything.
And then it says, I love this move. I puked into a 6-sack in first class during the safety demo as we pushed back from the gate. I did it as quietly as I could because I was drunk as...
Yeah. Oh. How do you get that messed up, man? You can't. That's the thing, man. If you're going to sit in first class, you've got to allow yourself the opportunity to enjoy the amenities.
Free drinks,
unless you just need to sleep it off, which I guess if you're rich and you fly first class all the time, you're like, I got a big seat, I can go to sleep. But man, the times I've been in first class, I'm like, they're going to serve me food, right?
Drinks.
They're going to serve me. I'm going to get like a hot towel. This is crazy.
Drinks. I didn't even know what to do with the hot towel. I'm like, is this for my hands or is this for my face?
Dude,
like,
I had a flight,
for both,
man.
right?
Is it for both?
I always try to put it on both.
I just watched everyone. Like, I'm sitting in first class. I haven't been there before. And this woman comes up with tongs and, like, gives me this really hot-ass towel.
Yeah,
actually. And I'm like, I don't know what she thinks I should do with this. So I kind of look around and I see this old woman next to me is like doing her hands. So I just did my hands. I'm like, really?
I
kinda
the
want it on
person
my
I
face.
saw did it on their face.
Really?
And their hands.
Damn, if
So
I had
now
known,
wait,
I'd
my
have done
face
both.
and then my hands.
Okay.
But I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
that guy was just guessing.
Maybe.
Tried at a sushi restaurant. What is your infamous puke story? 844-999. Jesus Christ.
Hello, Carlos. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, Thrill, I'm with you, bro. We just flew first class to Mexico a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know what the hell to do with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
like it feels very
what is
nice.
this?
You know what I mean? It feels great, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what
What,
to
with
do.
a hot towel?
Yeah.
You just put it on this
Yeah.
thing.
Well, no, they hand you the hot towel
You
like
like-
they want you to do something.
Yeah, they want you to clean your dirty ass.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was my
Face and
hands,
hands.
my
Yeah,
face,
face and hands.
or
Face and
both.
hands. Yeah,
All
both.
right,
I
okay.
think both.
Now we know. All right.
Both, I think.
Well, now we're cultured.
Right.
Yeah. But this happened in, like, 2011. I had a Halloween party. You know, I just turned 21, and, you know, I had my own house and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to throw a big old Halloween party. So I have all my friends come over, and, like, we're all just turning 21, so we're all just having bottles and bottles of just everything. And my fiance, she was my girlfriend at the time, but she had came back from Wyoming, and she brought some Everclear home. And then we got some stuff called Stall. It's like 180 proof. I don't know what we were thinking.
Were you mixing this in punch,
But,
or were you doing shots of it?
we were doing shots and then mixing it with whatever we had.
Wow.
We had like it was just a crazy
You
night.
could start your car with
And,
that if you ran out of gas.
That's how the space
Yeah,
shuttle
see?
used to fly. And by the way, Everclear should be called Never Clear, in my experience.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, we were going for drinking or whatever, and my friend, he
Jesus.
is, huh?
What was that?
Oh, I'm at work.
All right.
I'm a garbage man.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Now that we know what it is, it's funny.
At work.
Yeah, he's working.
so my friend, he's drinking and stuff, and towards the end of the night, well, it had to be the end of the night because he was sitting there just laughing, and all of a sudden he just starts puking on himself, just like a whole bunch, just in our brand new couch we had just bought too. And so he just puking and puking. I remember the music stopped. Exactly. The music stopped because someone stole my damn iPod, and it was just a whole big thing. So he kind of like slumped over into it, and everyone started clearing out. They're like, "All right, Los, see you later. You know, good party. We're out of here, though." And so I'm like, "What the hell? Like, what do I do with this guy?" And one of my friends was like, "Just leave him in it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to, because he's going to clean that stuff up in the morning." So we left him in there overnight, woke up in the morning, he was still asleep. We just went to the Seahawks game and came home and it was all clean. So
So he left.
Oh, he did
And
clean it,
he
though.
did clean a
Nice.
place. Okay, all right. Yeah, most people, when they realize what they've done, you don't want to be the guy that pukes and have someone else
You
clean
would
up your
hope.
puke.
But how many times have you dealt with roughly the same situation, and by the time you turn around, the guy was gone, but the puke and the mess was still there? I feel like that happens more often than it
I'm
should,
with
man. Where you're like, come on, man. You know,
And it's not even sometimes that it's that person's fault. They're just that drunk. They don't know.
sure.
They just puke and leave it.
Last time I puked, and I puked a lot. I just got really, really sick, and I thought, I did a really good job of doing this. And then I went to pee like the next morning.
Oh,
Lifted
yeah.
up the lid, and the whole underneath side of the lid, it's painted in this pink and red, whatever the hell I threw over. I'm like, I guess I didn't do the greatest job cleaning up after.
Every time, because you don't think
Yeah.
about it. You clean up everything else, right? Then you go to pee, and you're like, dear God, man.
Puke and blood are very distinctive. You're like, that's dried up puke, or that's dried up blood.
But the thing with the blood, like with puke, you go, oh man, I must have puked. With the blood, you're like, was it me bleeding?
I was
was
thinking
it
more on
me?
like
You know?
the sidewalk, but
Ah, okay. You've never had the experience at home where you're like, why is there blood in my sink?
Puking
All right,
is
the
one-
last time I had mysterious blood, it was very easy to trace it back to what happened.
What happened?
I was trimming and got too close.
Oh, downstairs?
Yeah.
Ow.
How much did you bleed,
Yeah,
man?
you really bled out.
It bled. Those things bleed a little
They
bit.
do.
Both of them.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I
know.
hopped-
Like 2 for 1.
I hopped right in the shower. Figured I'd get the water going and stuff. And then the next day I found a couple drops on the side of the tub.
That'll happen. What is your infamous
Man.
puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi there.
Hola.
So this was probably about New Year's. three or four years ago, my roommate and I decided to throw a party. And everybody's drinking, having a good time. And it's kind of winding down. We're sitting down at the table in the garage having a cigarette, playing King's Cup. And then my roommate slumps into her seat. And just as I'm about to get out the words, "Are you okay?" she projectile vomit all over me. And the guy, because I was sitting on a guy's lap because, we're all drinking and everybody's on top of everybody.
I think he reviews you or remembers you as the human shield.
Well, that's exactly what he did. He shoved me towards her.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
Yeah.
You probably still date him to this day, don't you?
No.
All
That
right.
was the last time I talked to him, probably, but...
It's just
Wait a minute,
reflex.
hold on.
It's just reflex. I'm sure it wasn't personal to you. It's just, I mean, look, if we were doing the same thing, I would do the same thing. You're the obstacle between me and whatever was in her belly.
Yeah, man.
But
I mean,
the
there's puke
worst
coming out
part
the
of
dude.
it was I was in thigh-high boots, and so not only did it get all over me, but I could feel it seeping inside of my boot.
How much are there?
Keep talking, Mama.
Those are cheap boots either, are they?
No, they were like $300 boots.
Okay.
Why does anyone wear anything nice and or expensive on New Year's Eve? I mean, honestly, there's 3 days out of the year. I understand a lot of people throw parties, but if it's New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day, or Cinco de Mayo, understanding how we choose to celebrate those, don't wear anything that you didn't buy at Kmart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Kmart should have a run on merchandise.
Present. I was excited about wearing some cute hooker boots. I don't know.
It's like the same theory as
And you got treated like a hooker.
Anytime
Puked on.
I don't wear much that's white. But anytime I do, like if I wear a white T-shirt or something, it's just situational. Well, where are we going tonight? Rib place.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Sloppy Joe's, all you can eat. Oh, that's great. Thanks. It always just seems to work out that way for me. What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Lionel Messi has revealed that he no longer gets sick and vomits on the pitch during games, owing it all to a change in his diet. Here is the quote. "I ate badly for many years. Chocolates, fizzy drinks, and everything. That is what made me throw up during the games. Now I look after myself better. I eat fish, meat, salads. Everything is organized and taken care of," as the Barcelona forward admitted that he used to just get sick all the time after he vomited while playing a friendly for Argentina in 2014. There had been concerns that he might have some kind of serious illness or whatever, and he said, "No, that's not what it is. I just basically ate crap. And then I started eating a little bit better, and since that point in time, I'm not throwing up nearly as much." See, I would say that, but would you think that maybe he could have been hungover as well?
Sure. I mean, but that's not what you're going to say, right?
I think it's different, too. He's a professional athlete, so he plays sports all the time, right? So, any normal person, you're going to go to the gym. You're probably not going to eat a candy bar and a soda right before you go in.
No, right.
But that's the only, hour of activity you're going to do like that.
True.
Whereas he's so used to it, he probably just let's eat whatever the hell we want and go play.
And there's burn it all.
Yeah, and there's a fine line between being able to run for 2 hours nonstop and when to eat before that and when not to eat and still maintaining energy and everything else. I mean, hell, playing football, people puked almost every day.
Sure.
I mean, even just in conditioning or whatever, if you took a hit, man, sometimes you just take a hit and you're like, "I gotta throw up," and you just throw up out of your face mask. Because your head's spinning, you know what I mean? You're nauseous and all of a sudden you're like, "I gotta throw up." Then you take yourself out for a second and you drink some water.
Especially the beginning of football camp, man.
Oh, God.
Everybody's not in the best, at least at high school, wasn't in the best shape.
Sure.
You're running all those gassers.
And professional.
Oh, there's nothing.
Right? We hear every year.
There's nothing that just, God, it just sucks more than those 2 days and just, oh, God, I hated that. The smell of grass, sometimes it goes oh, that smells like 2 days. God,
Everyone else says it smells like
head's
spring.
gonna ring.
You know how, some coaches will help you, try to stay fired up, right?
Sure.
It's not like a sophomore or something. Everybody called me tiny, so it's really fat. And we're running gassers, right, across the field and back. And as we're coming back, I'm dragging ass. And he's a coach, and he's standing in front of me "Come on, Sonny. I got you, man. Come on. You can finish. And as I finish, I puked on him.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, "I got tired of puke on my shoe. What am I going to tell my girl?"
You need to ease up on me, man.
I got tiny.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola.
So this was my junior year in high school. My stepdad and I were on our way to Daytona, to the Daytona 500. And I've never had a problem flying. I love to fly, especially as a kid. I was glued to the window. And so we're flying down. We had our layover. We're continuing on into Daytona. And it was really windy. Well, so windy that the captain decided that we're going to divert and go to Tampa. Well, it was a little less windy there. And we're in one of those planes where you got the 5 seats across the middle, the 2 on the side.
Yeah, the wide body.
And the not the nurse's station, the stewardess station. There's one like mid-plane, so our seats were backed up against that, and then there was more passengers at the tail end.
I really like that plane, by the way. Whenever I get on one of these, I'm like, this is nice and spacious, plenty of bathroom room.
The only reason I like those planes, because typically it means I'm going somewhere far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's that big, like, I'm going somewhere cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, and we were. Well, I'm on of the seats in the middle, I'm on the far right end, so my elbow's hanging into the aisleway. We're coming into Tampa, and I look at my stepdad, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. And like I said, never had a problem before. He says, no, you're not. Well, I'm digging for the little wax-coated plastic, paper bag, and I start spewing. Well, to my right, across the aisle, is a kid probably in his early 20s, and his little brother, and his probably a couple years younger than me. The little kid is snickering at me and pointing, and I'm thinking mid-drool, you little SOB, you don't stop laughing, you're going to be covered in this in a second. Well, the captain decides to come back on the intercom and say, now let me ask you guys this. Any idea of what competition is going on in Daytona in February? National Cheerleader Competition.
Okay. All right.
I'm ashamed that I was not aware of that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad I didn't know that.
I feel bad about myself now.
Well, the captain comes on and decides to inform us that the whole tail end of the airplane is a cheerleading squad, and they're going to run down the aisles and wave and cheer to everybody while I'm still dripping profusely from my nostrils, mouth, ears, I'm sure. So, yeah, it was one of my less glorious days in life.
Hey, be glad you were only 5. That would be much more mortifying if you're like 17 years old.
How old were you?
I was 17. It was my junior year in high school.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking you were really. All right, yeah.
No, so you're 17.
No.
They're high school
now
cheerleaders.
I feel horrible. That's a really bad time, man.
It takes a lot more to say. A little more embarrassing for you.
You're the most beautiful people your age in all of the country. Make an impression.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here thinking, great. Now we're going to be walking around Daytona, and there's going to be groups of girls pointing, thinking, okay, hey, there's that guy. There's that guy. Yeah. Thankfully, we drove to Daytona from Tampa and didn't get to see any of them ever again.
Are you a NASCAR fan?
As of this year, no.
What happened this year? Yeah.
They've just changed the rules. I grew up in a racing family, and we've been to Daytona 3 times. Grew up in a racing family. It's totally different now.
Well, I mean, what are the rule changes they've made that have changed it significantly? Because from my point of view, just keep driving left. So I don't know much more than that.
Well, back in the good old days, you used to be able to put the pole sitter, the fastest car. He never sat at the front. He started at the back. He had to work to get back up to the front. And now they're doing these races in like 3 phases to where they make it all equal and let everybody group back up and everything. It's not just get out there and run circles. We got to make this fair.
Is this TV revenue you're guessing?
What's that? Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's getting so political and crap, just like everything else is nowadays. It's just
you know what's interesting? I read this recently about NASCAR, and this is very true. I just read either today or yesterday, but I guess NASCAR got its big television break in 1979, okay? This was the first televised Daytona 500. And so, people watched it, but the thing that put NASCAR on the map, believe it or not, I don't remember if it was the very end of the race or somewhere in the middle, but 2 of the top drivers, I guess maybe they've been rubbing or something, but they got out of their cars and got into a fist fight in the middle of the track. And people instantly were glued to NASCAR.
Wall trip.
Right, and that's when NASCAR blew up. They're like, hell yeah, man. I mean, this sport's got it all.
I had a buddy who was big in it, and he was always trying to convince me to go into both of my neighbors to go to a race. And so one of my neighbors went, and they went to Dover, whatever the hell they run in Dover Delaware.
Speedway?
Yeah, and so I asked my neighbor, who went for the first time with my buddy who would go all the time. And he said, man, it's a great time. The party is unbelievable. If you don't know anything about NASCAR, go for the festivities, go for everything else. And I said, well, how is the actual racing? And he's like, well, man, when you get in there, it's loud and, the cars are going around. He's like, but first of all, you don't know who the leader is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You don't know you don't know how many laps are. Like, they have different signs that kind of give you some indication. But
TV makes it easy.
It does. And that's the one thing about racing, because they're always following the front of the pack. But as you sit there, you can kind of look at a board, but you're not exactly sure, like, who's in the lead, and you're not.
Aren't the tracks like a mile long, too?
You can't see everything, right?
Right.
And then when they go by, then that's when you need to pick up what's going on. When they go by so fast, like, if you don't know what to follow, he said it's pretty difficult as a layman to go. But at the same time, yes, you should go. It's a great time.
You'll have a great time.
It might be harder once you get in there to kind of, I know what I do. I get in there and watch it for like 10, 15 minutes. You're like, let's go get a beer.
Right.
Yeah, and back in the day, you used to be able to bring your coolers in.
That's right. To the infield, at least, right? Or was that in the grandstand, too?
I thought, like, in the 90s, I thought you could bring them in, like, to the stands.
It depends on the track, probably, like anything else. Like, Preakness, you can go nuts. Churchill, you can't. So, what is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Kat. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, how you doing?
Hola.
Yeah, I got a great story for you, and it was a terrible night. Out with a bunch of girls. One of them gets really, really, really drunk, and she's got to take a leak. So we're in a park, and sorry, I'm running a loader right now at a job. But
we had a trash guy call earlier, man. It's all good.
Do what you need to.
You talk to us and keep working. We're not here to
keep
distract
loading,
you.
yeah, I'm not a garbage man, but yeah.
What are you loading?
Dirt inside of a warehouse at the port of San Diego.
Nice.
With a machine I've never run before, so
I'm glad you called us.
Don't F this up, Kat.
Perfect timing.
Right, exactly.
So this girl, she's got to go to the bathroom. She's stumbling drunk, and I'm going to be a gentleman, and I'm going to hold her up under her arms while she squats and relieves herself, right?
Wait, are you standing behind her?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad I was, because right when that happened, she let go right into her pants and her panties and everything, just like a garbage basket.
Now, are you still? What do you do at this point? Like, you're trying to be a gentleman, which is more of a gentleman than I would be. I'll be honest. So now,
okay, I'm still a gentleman. I remove her pants and her panties.
Yeah.
Just hearing that out of context.
Yeah. What a guy.
Hey. So, anyway, and yes, I wash everything in a drinking fountain in a park.
What? Does that include her bits? Like, you have her and her vagina in a water fountain in a park?
Here, sit here.
No. Well, I did kind of mop around a little bit there with her panties, but on herself. But
you are a true gentleman. This is.
Yeah.
When we come to San Diego, Kat, can we drink with you?
Absolutely. I'm a whiskey guy.
Okay.
I got whiskey on my license plate.
All right. Take us out. Show us the town.
Do you ever get pulled over? Look, man, there's a theory that we have. Like, look, if you do drugs and you just put a giant pot leaf decal in the back of your car, all right?
Right.
I feel like the cops are more prone to pull you over. If you have the dancing bears from the Grateful Dead, which says, I might even be stoned as I'm driving, I feel like you're just begging the cops to pull you over. So if you have whiskey on your license plate, like, have you found
people have told me might as well have I'm drunk on there, but
DUI, that's my vanity point.
Well, I did get pulled over one time, and the cop asked me about that, and I said I was part of the Whiskey A Go-Go restoration project.
That's not a bad call. Yeah. Why not?
I've been as military for W, man.
Yeah. So,
I know.
Hey, first time I ever heard your show, and I wish I lived here now.
What's that? What you wish you did? What now?
I said, first time I ever heard your show, and now I wish I lived here.
You don't live in San Diego?
No, I do not.
Where do you live originally?
Long Beach.
Oh, well, boo-hoo.
I
mean, come on.
I can't find my tiny violin.
When I live in Reno.
Right. Then we'd feel bad for you.
Exactly, man. You live in Long Beach. I think you're okay.
I tell people I'm from out of town. They say, where are you from? I said, California.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. That's I like the like I said, I like every quote he had out of context. I was a gentleman, so I removed her pants and panties. I was a gentleman, so I mopped up around her vagina with wet panties that I'd soaked in the water fountain at a park.
Sopda.
Like, I'm pretty sure you can put that in a Hallmark card, and that's flying off the shelf.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Thor. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, what's
Hola.
up, guys?
Hola.
Oh, sorry, first-time caller. Getting used to it.
We appreciate it.
I know you were on hold for a while, man. Thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. Love the show. It was great. I get it in my headphones now.
Thanks, man.
Nice.
Sweet. So my story was having a hard day at work, got off work late, was supposed to be going to a party. I was going to Lucky, one of those massive raves that they do at the WAMU Theater. And I was running behind. I still had to go pick my buddy up, so I thought it would be the good idea to drop my party pills at the beginning of the drive to Seattle from Kent.
Yeah, always a good idea. Do it right
Always.
before
So
you drive. Yeah.
No.
Yes. Well, it was supposed to be the timing because, pills have that, period before they actually take effect. I was trying to time it just right so I could park and be good and then walk in and be prepared at 10 o'clock or whenever I got there.
Responsible drug driver.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Timing is everything. You got to count that. So I get there, and right as we pull up, still dead sober, and I was still angry, and I was talking to my buddy who had taken the same amount of what I had for his first time ever. And I felt bad for him because this is the point where everything hits me all at once, and I tell him profusely that I need a minute, and get out of the car. And he's like, oh, God, am I going to die? Oh. I'm supposed to be the experienced one. So we end up walking down the street. He's like, you good, man? I'm like, nah, because getting the mouth sweats, the entire thing. But at least amongst my friends, I'm the notorious puker, but I am absolutely the politest puker, is what I've been deemed.
How are you a polite puker?
Because I'm not that guy that's going to puke on your couch. I'm not that guy that's going to puke. I'm going to find the most convenient situation, clean it up before anybody ever sees it. I have a rule that nobody should have to clean my vomit, so I don't have to clean anybody else's
Just
vomit.
keep in mind, you vomit enough that you have to have that rule. But still, I like that you've taken the time to initiate it.
Absolutely. So we're walking down the street, and they have those potted plants for the art, and I decide, this is going to happen, but I don't want to be in the middle of brick and everything, and everybody's going to have to walk through it. So I
think that's a polite call. I think that was the right call. I think that was the right decision to make.
To me, that's why they have potted plants in cities. Like, look, no one stands around a potted plant and says, man, it's a beautiful plant. But I've never heard anyone say that, but I've seen multiple people pee in them, puke in them, and on occasion drop a deuce in one.
Yeah, it's definitely what you got to do sometimes. But I managed to heave for the first two, and then I puked on the next three, hit every plant, not a drop on myself, did not stop walking.
You can walk and puke, man. That's one thing.
I will say this, Thor. If you're at the beginning of that experience where you're just kind of stepping into it, I've had many of those experiences where it just was bad on your stomach right away, and you just kind of have to throw up at the beginning, right, when it kicks in, and then you're kind of like, not to talk too much about peyote, but the same kind of experience that you would have. The same, you're to bun to that. You know what I mean? You just start puking, and all your friends are like, I just want to throw up real quick, and you basically throw up at the same time. If 5 people go down, you're all throwing up, and then you pop back up, and you're like, I'm okay, I'm alive, and then you float around for 8 hours.
I was going to say that's what I have heard about peyote. You're giving me your first hand, that's pretty much it.
That's kind of it. Yeah.
Puke at the beginning, have a great time.
Yeah. We actually had a trash can in the middle of the living room waiting because we knew what the hell was going to happen. Because the time we did it before that, I'm 20 years old. You know what I mean? This is exciting.
How many times have you done it?
Twice.
Twice?
Yeah, my buddy was one of those 1/17th Native American guys.
Oh, God, right.
You know what I mean?
Well, he knew enough that you had to get something ready to puke.
He
in.
was very experienced at this, and that's why we kind of felt safe with it. It was a great time, but it's just understood. You've got to puke before anything starts.
Did you know that the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything was explained. We're all in a learning environment. You know what I mean? It's all there was a huge Rubbermaid big trash can, and after everyone puked, the Brett tied it all up, man, threw it outside, and we were good to go. And that basically was how the night started. It was understood. We just sit there until we puke, and then we puke, and then we go and we do stuff.
That's very polite. He had the trash ready and took
I
it
think
out.
that's very good. I like that.
And it was kind of funny because people just stand up and go like this. It's like all of us in a circle, someone stand up and go, Right. And then go sit back down. And then somebody else will get up and go, oh! And then everybody threw up. And we were just like, all right, let's go out.
Is that everybody? Yeah, let's go.
Throw up? Okay, then I'm good. No, I feel fine. I'm drinking water.
It's like asking your kids if they have to go to the bathroom before they get in the car.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Let's just make sure we all puke before we leave. What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Billy. Welcome to the men's room.
Bacon, bourbon, and boobies, bitches.
Hola.
I think Thrill's going to particularly like this one, given his background working in the kitchen. My story is about bucket meat.
Bucket meat?
Bucket meat.
Okay.
So my wife is Mexican. Her family lives in Juarez. And a bunch of times she's telling me about this great stuff that her father would always get her every time she would go down there called tripitas. I have no clue what it is, but I'm like, I'll try it.
You're going to try to? You mean you're going to try to make it?
No, I was going to try it from where her family buys it.
Oh, okay.
And I am almost white enough to be transparent, which means I don't really fit in so well in Juarez.
Yeah,
so I decide I'm going to go with them. I'll go get this food. We'll have it. And we walk down the street to a gas station near where her parents live, and there's some dude standing outside the gas station with one of those old metal, like, janitor mop buckets.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start explaining to me, oh, that's not his bucket. That used to be his father's bucket. And then they open up the lid, and inside this bucket is meat.
What kind of meat?
Yeah. So it's basically tripe that was essentially fried in a janitor's pail.
And this is what your girlfriend wants to eat. Your wife.
Oh, she's my wife now.
Okay.
Is she a cheap date when you take her to dinner, I'm guessing?
No, she was going to take me there. I was there it was her brother, me. I think her sister was there too. Her dad may have walked with us.
I'm just going to assume you threw up.
Her parents' place. Oh, this is the best part. We try it, no issues. The next day is Christmas Day. We're back in El Paso, and I'm like, let's just go out and grab some Chinese food. And I got the worst food poisoning I've ever had in my life.
So you go from being Mexican to Jewish in 24 hours.
So the tripe deep fried and the janitor's bucket did not get him sick.
Bucket meat was fine.
Bucket meat.
Christmas Chinese food took him over the edge. Mm-hmm. What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Silicon Ryan Castle, drunk in charge of being a sit and spin. We'll go back 30 years for the top 10 songs in the USA. Sit and spin is on the way. And today we're going to talk about puke, as a guy was busted on St. Patty's Day for throwing up out of his car while driving drunk. That comes our way from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Probably drunk on the Yingling. I did see where Yingling is now coming out with a Pilsner.
Oh, yeah?
Full time. For the first time that they've done a new beer in a long time.
I like beers, man. I don't know what it is. Pilsner's my least favorite. That said, I will never turn down a free beer.
Lionel Messi reveals why he used to vomit on the pitch. He basically just boils it down to his diet and said he ate crap, and now he eats much better fish and chicken and vegetables and all that stuff. And we had the story of the norovirus that sickened 200 people at the Olympics. And more recently, either Nor'easter 1, 2... one of the ones that are the fourth one still hasn't hit, but there was a bad incident at Dulles International Airport where basically the pilot said that every single person on the plane threw up, including the pilots who were on the verge of throwing up on a very bumpy descent. So our question, what is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Rusty. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
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 So I'm out with my brother and some buddies drinking really heavy one night, and we end up at the bowling alley bar. So I kind of hook up with the bartender, sat there for a couple hours drinking a little bit more, waiting for her. By the time she gets off and drags me back to her place, I'm pretty well plowed. So we get over to her house. She gives me a giant red Gatorade, pound that thing down, and then we start doing the no pants dance in the bathroom.
In the bathroom? Why were you doing it in the bathroom of her home?
It was in the bedroom, her bathroom of her bedroom.
Ah, okay.
That makes any sense.
Close enough. I got you.
Still seems like you're in the bedroom.
I mean, it's right, but
maybe we're going to take a shower together.
Work its way over there.
All right.
So we're in there, and I kind of got her over the sink a little bit, and here it comes. I feel the water of the mouth, the whole deal. I try to hit the sink, all over her hair like a rocket, just a waterfall on her back, everywhere. So then I wake up in the morning, naked in the fetal position on the ground there in the bathroom while she's yelling at me from her bed.
Did you ever see her again?
No, but that morning as she's yelling, I just said, look, things happen. Get dressed. You're taking me to breakfast. And that was
it. And you never got another date after your charm?
Nope, that was it. Last call.
Did you still go to that bowling alley?
Y'all bowling alley. Great place.
Oh, Rusty. Rusty.
Shout out.
Rusty,
Shout out.
Rusty, you don't play the trombone, do you?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're Rusty, you got to have a trombone in your living room. Because some people come over, they're like,
it's Rusty's trombone.
You play the trombone? Like, yep.
Sure
what is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
If you come to Cleveland's house, he steams everything.
Right, exactly.
Steamed clams, steamed mussels.
Oh, man.
I like that Rusty just said, yeah. He's exactly. Take me to breakfast.
Exactly.
I mean, a one-night stand demanding breakfast is bold enough.
I puked in your hair while you bent over your sink.
Oh, my God.
And it was the red Gatorade.
Oh, exactly. The worst kind. I mean, that dye and that stuff, man, it probably dyes the inside of your stomach. Probably eats through the acid.
Well, it wasn't there long enough.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure the back of her. Did you dye the back of your hair red? Now you know how it is. One of these boulders puked on the back of my head.
I told you the one time I puked up, was it fruit punch Alizé? And then my buddy was like, that was the nicest smelling puke I've ever smelled in my life.
Yeah.
It also stained my shoes. They were fresh.
Hello, Trevor. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
What's going on, guys?
How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Good. All right, so this story is one of countless stories we have with this friend. Drunken stories, but basically, we were all over at a buddy's house, and we're all having a good time. Everybody's drinking, everybody's feeling good, and we're all kind of sitting in a circle out back. He had he had one of those patio tables with chairs all the way around, so we're all kind of sitting in a circle. And for whatever reason,
hey, hold on for 2 seconds. We gotta
Hang
do a little station ID here thing, and then we'll get back to your story, which you're going to pick up and make faster, right?
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.